realize that the further into the day that I get, I don't go fast enough, and then my video isn't got everything on it that it should. So apparently I can't keep my mouth shut. Did we get through this example yesterday, guys? Do you remember this one? Okay, so let's do this one as a practice. You have a calculator this time, so it should go a little better. Everybody have a calculator? Your own, or one out of the case, or one I loaned you? We good? Has batteries? Right. So we need a common denominator. I want you to practice doing these by using your common denominator. So do 4 and 3 both go into 84? Somebody check in for us? Yes, we're good? So the common denominator is what then? 84. Let's multiply through by 84. On both sides, everything. So 84 times n will just give us 84n. 84, you don't have this problem. You can write it down if you need an example on, maybe put it on worksheet 1 somewhere. 84 times 5 divided by 4. 105. And it's minus. 84 times 1 divided by 3 you already got was what? Thank you. And we shouldn't need a calculator for this one. 199 divided by 84 times 84 is going to be 199. Okay, combine like terms over here. Oh, I hate subtracting in my head. 77? It's probably wrong. Is it 77? Okay, but it's negative, right? Okay. Plus 77 would be what? 276. Does this one come out nice or not? Okay. Do a math enter, because I would like it as an improper fraction reduced. Thank you so much. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Do I need to show you on the calculator? If you type 276 divided by 84 and you get a crazy decimal, then you just do the math button, which is on the upper left, second or third button down maybe. Everybody find it? Enter. This isn't news to anybody, I hope, but I never know. Get somebody from another school who's not used to the Texas Instruments calculators. Okay, I think I started this one yesterday. I don't know that we finished. Okay, then help me do it really fast for the video because I didn't even get this far yesterday in the other classes. So 23 times 9, somebody? And in the denominator, 5 times 2, 10. You want to distribute first or you're going to have problems. 23 times 17. And in the denominator, 5 times 8 is this. Now we're done with the distributing. We got to figure out, whoa, the common denominator. I can't write. So the common denominator was just 40, right? Okay. So we're going to multiply everything through by a 40. I'm going to cheat and start over here because this is just going to be negative 3707. This one, 828. How'd I do? Where? Oh, this one. Thank you for fixing me. I'm broken. Okay. Was this then 808? 828? Thank you. Plus, this is just going to be 391 minus 145? X. Okay. Honestly, the most common thing students do is they lose an X somewhere, right? It's easy to do. All right, now if we combine like terms, these, somebody have that one for me? 680. Thank you. All right, I'm going to do the minus 391 at the same time because I'm running out of room. So we get negative 4 or something. 4098. And if we divide and do a math enter. Oh, it comes out nice. Negative 6. Okay. We good? Anybody need time to copy that down? I was going really fast. Okay, so your homework was to work on worksheet 3, the odds. Did anybody run into a question you want to talk about right away? Number 5. Okay, I just did one like that, right? Oh, the answer? Sure. Yep. If you distribute first, though, you're going to have negative 77 over 12v. Then this is going to be positive, isn't it, guys? Negative times a negative. And what will we get? Multiply the top and multiply the bottom. Oh, that's a 4. Just kidding. All right. What did you use for common denominator? 36 seems like a great plan. You could definitely use something bigger. It won't matter at the end. Yes. Or if you didn't, it would cancel with this one only, and then you would distribute what was left after that. So I think it's better to just distribute or you're going to get all confused, okay? All right. So now somebody type 36 times negative 77 divided by 12. 231. Okay. How's that working for us? I don't think 36 is big enough, is it? Oh, my bad. My bad. I just helped you get that messed up. What's 24 times 3? 72? 72 would work. Okay. Does anybody remember how to do that if you can't figure it out? Well, first of all, 12 goes into 24, so you could just do 24 times 9 and use that and it will work, okay? It's like 144? No? What's 24 times 9? No, it's bigger than that. 216. So you could use 216 and it would work, okay? What I did was I said, well, 3 goes into 24, but 9 doesn't. So I need another multiple of 3 times 24. When you were in grade school, you did like this. You said 12 was this and 24 was, someone help me. Is that right? No, that's obviously not right. That's not primes. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 3, right? And 9 is 3 times 3. Do you remember doing this in elementary school? So then to get the LCM, you went, well, I need 3 2s because this one's got it. And I need 2 3s because this one's got it. And guess what that is? 72, okay? You don't remember finding a least common multiple that way? Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just figure out that 12 goes into 24, do 24 times 9 and use 216. It's fine. When you get to the end of the problem, it's going to reduce the same. All right, but let's do one more step, and then I'm going to let you finish this one later. What's 72 times negative 77 divided by 12? Thank you. 72 times 11 divided by 24, 33. How'd I do? No? Okay, now I need 72 times 4, 288. And over here, I need 72 times negative 824 divided by 9. I'm not even trying. 1700 something? I don't know. Bigger? 82? 92? Is that somebody else agreeing with that number, 6592? Okay, I'm letting you go from here. You can finish this, yes? Was there anything else in worksheet 3 you were panicking about? All right, because we have a lot to get through on worksheet 2 today. The pacing is, if you are coming from a regular class only, you've never had an honors math class before, the pacing is going to feel incredibly fast. It will take some getting used to. You just need to come for help. You need to let me know when you have a question. Okay, I don't want to scare anybody out of this class. At the same time, if you're freaking out and you've talked to mom and you were dropping, let me know and I'll get you a pass, okay? All right, so today we're going to talk about graphing a line in any form, determining if lines are parallel or perpendicular or neither, and we're going to talk about writing an equation of a line. Given a line it has to be parallel or perpendicular to. We're going to talk about writing equation of a line through 2 points. We're going to talk about 3 different forms of a line, and we're not really doing applications till tomorrow. All right, linear equation of a line is any equation that can be written in this form or this form, which is going to be called standard form. Okay. Any of these linear? Which ones? So I'm going to just run through them real fast. What do you think about this first one? Yes? Let's see. How about if I just cross them out if they're not? What do you think about this one? Could we solve for y on that one? Okay. What about the next one? If we solved for y, we'd have 6 over x. If you graphed this, it looks like this. Got a little loop there and a little loop there. Okay. It's a reciprocal function. It's not linear. X equals 6. You can't get it in y equals form, but is this the same as 1x plus 0y equals 6? So you could write it in that form. It is a line, right? We all know that. It's not a function because it's a vertical line, but it is linear. This one, right, has 0 slope, but it's a function. I don't know why I started circling and then squaring, and I'm sorry if that's confusing. What about this guy? Linear? No. What's that going to graph as? Parabola, right? It's got that squared in there. Square roots? Does that count? Anybody remember what that looks like? Half a sideways parabola. Yep, this one is shifted to the left, so it's over here. What about this guy? Could we get the y by itself? Really easy, right? And the last one? That snow, do you remember what its shape is? You're probably right. Come on. Oh, guys, somebody remembers. Absolute value. It's a V. Is that coming back to you? Is that what you're going to say? Good job. It's not linear. It is a V graph. All right. Give several definitions of slope. We did some yesterday. Do you remember some? What do you got? Good job. What else, guys? What if I ask for a formula for slope tomorrow, Wednesday, not tomorrow, next week, on the quiz? What are we going to write? Avon? Okay, that's not slope. That's an equation. It's a linear equation. Keaton. Yes, I said you could just write change in y over change in x. Kelsey, do you remember what else? What is change in mean, guys? Right. So you could do like y minus y over x minus x. And I don't care which numbers, if you do y1 minus y2, x1 minus x2. All right, I'm going to just put here the change up and down. And yeah, you could write horizontal and vertical. Yep, it would be vertical. Change vertically over change horizontally. I don't know. I'm just trying to fill in the blanks now. And change in the little triangle means subtract, right? Tristan, do you guys need him to turn the light off so that you can see this better? No, anybody? It's the one next to the phone if you want to flip it off. I just feel like it's easier to see. The one closest to the phone. There we go. Is that better for some of you? All right. You have to know all 3 of these forms for the next quiz. All right. It says write slope intercept form. And that's when you're going to tell me y equals mx plus b. And then it's going to say write point slope, and you have to use this one. How many of you remember this form? Some of you? Okay, you should have done it in geometry and I think in algebra 2, I don't know. Not looking familiar. This form, a lot of you probably aren't as familiar with. This is called standard form. Standard form is got a lot of icky rules. It's kind of a dumb form that some mathematician decided made everything look prettier. Okay, when I have something like y equals 3/7 x minus 6, that's point or slope-intercept form. If I wanted to get it in standard form, it says I have to have integers. What does that mean? No fractions and no decimals, okay? So what did we just learn we could do to get rid of all the fractions? Multiply this through by the common denominator, which would be 7. So if I multiply through by a 7, what would I have? Equals? Nicely done. Okay, is that this form yet? I have to have the x and y on the same side. So if I subtract 3x over here, I would get this. Is that good? Am I reading the rest of their stupid rules up there? What's the other thing it says? A has to be greater than or equal to 0. This is A, this is B, this is C. Is this greater than or equal to 0?
No.
Can we make it greater than or equal to 0? Yeah, change all the signs or divide through by a negative. Same difference. -1. Multiply through by a -1. Whatever you need to do. Anything else can be negative, but somebody decided this one can't be. All right. So let's practice what's in your paper. I was just giving you quick examples. All right. So this first one, they want us to write in standard form. It has a decimal, not a fraction. Any ideas on how to get rid of the decimal? We could do it several different ways. What do you think? Yeah, I'm just thinking we could double it, right? 3.5 times 2 would be what, guys? So if we doubled it, I don't know where to write this, we'd have 2y equals -8x plus 7. So we multiplied that guy through by a 2. All right, almost in standard form. What do we have to do to finish up? Add the 8x over there. Yep. So we'd have the 8x plus the 2y equals 7. What is that form good for? Well, it looks pretty. There's no fractions. The only thing that I could tell you it's good for, you remember yesterday, if you have a question like, no, it'd be better if it had an x off power. When you have a question like that, do you remember me graphing it by saying, well, you could make the x 0, that would make this go away, and then you'd have this. You could make the y 0, that would make this go away. It'd say 2x equals 12, so you'd have this. Intercepts, finding the intercepts are kind of nice when you have that form. Other than that, you ain't good for much. Just pretty. But you need to know that form. All right, what about this one? How would we make this? Do you need me to solve for the y on that one? Could you do that quick? See if we get the same thing. Distribute, add the 6 over, and I think we're done. It said y equals, what would it say? 2x plus 12. Okay, how do we make that standard form? Move the x over, but then it would say -2x plus y equals 12. So we'd have to do what? Yeah, change all the signs or divide everything by -1 because there's that dumb rule about everything can be negative except what's in front of the x. I think they made that rule so that things would be easy for teachers to grade. Everybody would have the same nice, pretty answer. I don't know, but I won't require it very often because it's fairly useless form. But there is one question that says you have to write in standard form. All right, what about this guy? It just wants us to switch to slope-intercept. So you get the y by itself. Do you need me to do that one? Why don't you do it on your own real quick and see if you get the same answer. Solve for y. Watch your signs and reduce. That's what I got. Anybody else have an equally disgusting answer? I wouldn't want to have to graph that, right? Starting at -7.6. Anybody not getting that? Need help? All right. I'm not even sure we need, I'm gonna go super fast because I think you got this from yesterday, right? You'd start down here somewhere at -5. It would go up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1. I don't know. It looks something like this. What was the slope? 2 or 2 over 1. I don't care if you write 2 over 1. It's fine. Which intercept is easier to find? Which one did we already graph? The y-intercept. And what is the ordered pair for the y-intercept? 0, -5. Guys, just remember it this way. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. The x-intercept is when y equals 0. Okay? So how are we going to find the x-intercept? We're going to put in y equals 0. Somebody said it. If I set that equal to 0, what's that going to be? Yep. I'd have 5 equals 2x, 5 halves, 2.5, whatever. Okay. Good? No? Too fast? All right. This one is really weird. Why would anybody start in this form? I don't have a good answer. Okay. If you're going to graph this, I would never have started with this form. We're going to use this form a lot when we write equations of lines, but not so much for graphing. All right. So what do you want to do? Do you want to get in a different form first? If we distribute, we would have 1/2 x plus what? What's half of 2? 1. And then we need to add this one over there. So we'd have 1/2 x plus 2. So we'd start up here. It's going to go up as fast as the other one did. What's the slope this time? Yes. The slope is 1/2. What intercept did we already know? And it was, the ordered pair was 0, 2. The x-intercept, anybody guess what it is? It's going back this way, right? If you set the y equal to 0, somewhere along the line, I don't know where you want, if you want to just do it here. Can you see that on that red, guys, or do I need to change that? If we subtract the 2 over there, okay, is it -1? A whole bunch of you are thinking it is because half of -2. But you actually need to divide by half, right? So, or multiply by the reciprocal, is that what most of you would do? Okay, which is 2 over 1. Because if you have 2 pizzas, how many half pizzas do you have? 4, right? This is actually -4. Does that make sense? When down 1, back 2, down 1, back 2. Is that making more sense? All right, be careful when you're dividing by fraction. It should get bigger. I'm going to write it differently so it's easier. So we did times 2 over 1 to get rid of the fraction. Does that help? We could have multiplied through by the common denominator. It would have worked. All right. I'm going to graph this one by the intercept method. We could solve for y, but let's go through putting an x in for y. If I put the x in here, it will say 2x equals 12, which would make x 6. If I put the x in here, it'll say negative 3y equals 12, which would be negative 4. So it crosses the x out here somewhere at 6 and the y down here at negative 4. Now, can anybody tell me the slope real quick then, without solving it? How much did it go up and how much did it go over? Up 4 to the right 6 would make the slope 4/6 or 2/3. You could have solved for y. I'm just trying to show you other ways to do it, okay? Don't feel bad if you would have said, I want to subtract the 2x over and divide everything by negative 3. That'll work. All right. I think this is really review of what we just did. A function is linear if it can be written in what two forms did we just talk about on the other side? Mx plus b or ax plus by equals c, which is called standard form. Point slope form. These are the three forms you're going to have to literally write out on the next quiz. I want you to show me that you know the three forms. What is point slope? Anybody? That's the one we haven't really talked about too much. Does anybody know it? Y minus. Okay, let me show you where this comes from. Is that a definition of slope? Change in y over change in x, right? This is a definition we have been talking about. So if to get rid of this divide, I move it over here. Does that look like that form? Okay, that's where it comes from. Sometimes it helps me if I can relate it to something I already know. So it's really just the slope form rewritten. All right, the blank of the non-vertical line through 2 points is, what is this definition right here? We just talked about it. Slope. Vertical lines that go this way, okay, have what kind of slope? Undefined. And we used to call that no slope when I was back in school. I prefer you say undefined, not get it confused with horizontal lines, which have 0 slope. Okay, vertical lines have equations like, example? Yeah, x equals some number. Well, horizontal lines that go this way have 0 slope, and we'll have equations like y equals some number. Do we need a 30-second candy break, or are you doing okay? All right, so if we had some magical point over here at 2, -4, how would we write the horizontal line that goes through there? Is it an x equals or y equals line? Y equals. And what is the value of y at that point? -4. Nicely done. Well, the vertical line that goes through the same point, this one would be what? X equals, but the x value was 2. Yep. No crying in pre-calc. Anybody ready to cry yet? Begging for a pass, the counselor? Okay. Parallel and perpendicular. You did this in geometry. Maybe in algebra 2, I don't remember. If two lines have what? Then their slopes are exactly equal. If the tilt is equal, what kind of lines are they going to be called? How do you make them perpendicular, though? So if this one was going, we'll say, up 2 and over 3, to make it be a right angle, it's going to have to go down, which changes what? Makes it negative. And if it's going to make a perfect right angle, it can't still go down 2 and over 3. Let me be a little more exact here. Up 2 over 3 would be this line. If I did same thing, down 2 and over 3, is that looking like a perfect right angle in there? No. To make it a right angle, you have to do what to it? Flip it over. So what do you want to call it? Negative reciprocals, opposites and reciprocals? I like opposites and reciprocals. The only exception to that is if it's a horizontal and a vertical line. Those are a special case, right? If you have one horizontal, one vertical, they're always perpendicular, but the slope was 0 and undefined. Those are not opposites and reciprocals. So if we're looking for a perpendicular, what's the slope of this line right now? 1 over 4. How do we make the perpendicular one? We flip it over and change the sign. You could put negative 4 over 1. I'm just going to put negative 4. Well, if it happens to be parallel, we all remember that symbol, right? If it's parallel to this first line up here, the slope would have been 1/4. Okay. The negative 6 had nothing to do with parallel perpendicular, right? Okay, which of the following describes the relationship between EF and GH? This is on the quiz, question like this. EF is the line through these two. How are we going to figure out the slope? You could. I don't think that's going to be very accurate. I would prefer you give a mathematical definition for slope. What are we going to do? Yeah, so how about 6 minus 3? Can I do that order? So I did y minus y, and down here I'm going to do x minus x. And I'm going to get 3 over 5. Someone else get that? And then we're supposed to do the same thing for line GH, which is this guy. Somebody tell me what to write. You can use calculator. I don't care. Is that 3? I'm having a moment here. But I got positive. Did you get positive? Okay, so they're both positive. It flipped over, but they're both positive. So one of them would go up 3 and over 5. The other one would go up 5 and over 3. Are those two lines going to be parallel, perpendicular? Neither. Okay. So you can do that on the same on the quiz Wednesday. I'll give you some practice. But what time are we done? Oop! I am way behind. Okay, we're going to do graphing a line. It's going to be perpendicular to this one and go through this point. Perpendicular to this one means its slope is going to be what? Good job. Okay, if it's got to go through this point, this is like where we needed to get today, and I'm rushing at the very important part. This is a point, and we know a slope. So the easiest way to do this is use your point slope form. We're going to put y minus. What am I going to put in for the y value? I know there is a y value of what? This is an x and this is a y. I'm going to put in 3. Then it said equals m. Let me write it down real fast. This is the form I'm using. The m is negative 2. X minus, what is the x value? It's also negative 2 from up here, right? All right, so we have y minus 3 equals, this would become positive. We could distribute that. We wanted the y, the slope intercept form. I got that. Anybody else get that? Okay. I only have 2 minutes left. I'm going to skip around a little bit. This one, you just plug this into that form for me. Y minus -4 equals, what's the slope? X minus, everybody see where we got those numbers? Okay, I'm not going to do anything else with that question. Yeah. No, because it doesn't say perpendicular. Okay, it just says the line through this. Okay, so it's not perpendicular. So you don't want to flip it over. All right, this is the one I've got to get through today. Through 2 points, what do you got to start with? Find the slope. 9 minus -6, 2 minus -4 is 15 over 6 or 5 halves. How did I do? Okay. Now what do you want to do? We found that. How do we find an equation? We need to pick one of these points and use point slope, okay? You want to do 2, 9 because it doesn't have any negatives. Okay? So, and this is our slope. So we're going to go y minus, what y value did we decide we wanted to use? Equals 5 halves x minus the 2. This was an x, this was a y, and this was our slope. All right? Y minus 9 equals 5 halves x minus. When I distribute this, this becomes a 5. What if I told you this had to be standard form? What would you want to do? Okay, you could add the 9 first. It wouldn't matter. Yeah, you got to move this over here. But you can't have a fraction either if it's that stupid standard form. Multiply through. It'd be easiest to multiply through by a -2 because it'd take care of everything. So you'd have 5x minus 2y equals -8, I think, if I did that right. It didn't say you had to have that form, okay? But I think on the quiz it specifies the form. We can do more on this tomorrow, but your homework is to work on worksheet 4, the odds. Worksheet 4, the odds. So I think it's like 6 more questions again, okay? I'm sorry, we spent way too much time handing out calculators at the beginning of class. Everybody all right, though? So work on finishing 3 and 4, the odds. Does someone over there have a question for me? No?